Okay, this lab is on isolated compromised host using the 5-tuple method. You can see from this diagram itself, okay, basically you're making use of 4 virtual machine, okay, CyberOps VM, which will be acting as the end host, okay, the vulnerable server, which contains the Metasploitable, okay, OS, which is the DMZ zone, okay, the Kylie, which basically will be acting as the threat actors on the internet. So basically these 3 VM basically, okay, are interconnected through the security onion, okay, which is the IDS, which is also acting as the firewall as well as the router. You can see the gateway IP addresses that are pre-configured on the security onion that is interconnected through the CyberOps VM, vulnerable servers, and the Kylie. Okay, so the first portion basically, okay, brief you on how to prepare the virtual machine. So basically, as I mentioned, you're going to make use of the CyberOps VM, the Kylie, the Meteor Survival VM, and the security onion. Okay, so take note that security onion, okay, the 3 internal network adapter are inside DMZ and internet. So as the diagram suggested, the CyberOps VM, okay, should be connected to internal network inside. Kylie VM, internal network internet, and internet Meteor Survival VM should be connected internet network DMZ. Okay, something to take note of for the security onion. If you leave it as a default 4 gig, okay, when you make use of SU GUI as a dashboard to detect the alert, okay, you will be able to see the alert, but you may not necessarily be able to see the details information regarding the alert. Okay, advisable to set to a memory that is more than 4 gig. Okay, for example, okay, in this case, I'm going to set it to 8 gig. Okay, depending on the resource of your devices. So let's kickstart all our VM, which will take a while. Okay, currently up and running. Media store level still running. So about VM, security onion is up and running. Okay, let's wait for the media spoilable variable server to be up and running before we start the lab. Okay, so the password, okay, and username that you can access all the different VM are given in this table as shown. While we are waiting for the media spoilable, let's go to CyberOps Association. So the CyberOps Association, okay, depending on lab, the interface can be connected to the public using the net interface in order to be able to access the internet. But in this lab itself, we are going to actually configure it as a static IP address, okay, that enables us to, okay, connect to the security onion. Okay. So in order to do that, you need to run the script that is in the script folder. So go to lab.support.file/script, okay, folder. Okay, if you do a ls-l, okay, you will be able to see all the different script. So basically, okay, if your interface is going to be accessing the internet, then you will actually be using the configure as DHCP script. If in this case we are going to actually just use it to test our lab, so we're going to configure it, okay, as static. Okay, so I'm going to run it as static. Key your password. So you can see that it has been successfully configured it as a static IP address of 192.168.0.11, and the gateway 192.168.0.1 is pointing to the interface, okay, on the security onion itself, which is acting as a router in this scenario. Okay. Next is to verify that all the sensors, okay, on the security onion are up and running, okay, so that when we do our attack, when the threat actors do the attack from Kali Linux, okay, is able to detect, okay, all the attack itself. So let's go to, okay, let's go to security onion now, which is here. Okay, so in order to verify, okay, key in your password analysis and cyber ops. Okay, let's start our terminal. Okay, so in order to check the status, okay, of the sensor, you will need to do sudo service nsm status. Okay, verify that all the different status services are running and is reflected as okay. You can see all the sensors now okay, but I strongly suggest to wait 5 to 10 minutes for the VM to stabilize in, so that okay, the detection, okay, of the traffic is much more accurate. Okay, so in part 2 of the lab, basically we are doing reconnaissance. Okay, basically for any threat actors to start performing the attack, he need to know what devices are running and what are the vulnerable application or services, okay, that the devices that is trying to target, okay, is having. Okay, in the security onion, let's verify that the date is up to date, so that okay, when we are capturing the traffic, okay, we actually know what date range to actually look at. Okay, let's go to the Kali Linux now and execute a mnet command. So for Kali Linux, the username is root, password is our ops. Okay, we're going to start our terminal for Kali Linux. Okay, so basically the command we're going to end is mnet, which is a very, very powerful tool depending on different options that you're using, which will help to perform reconnaissance, okay, to check, okay, in this case we are actually trying to attack, okay, the media spoilable or the vulnerable server, okay, for what kind of application or services that is vulnerable for our attack. So I'm going to run the mnet command with a given script. Two zero nine dot 165.200.235 is the IP addresses of the vulnerable server. Okay, I'm going to add in the reason for to be updated, and I'm going to capture, okay, whatever output that, okay, the mnet is having, okay, to a file called ftp.txt file. Okay, so mnet, I'm going to run a script that basically helps to detect one of the vulnerable services, which is the ftp daemon, okay, that is already pre-installed, okay, on the vulnerable server, which we're going to launch the attack today. Okay, so I'm going to we're going to run the command. So if you decided not to save it into a file, you can even just run the command and see what is the output on the screen. But the reason why you want to save it to a file, so that you can actually review it, okay, in case you need to go to it again. So do a cat on your ftpd.txt, okay, and you can see that, okay, my reconnaissance that is performed on the vulnerable server of IP address 109.165.200.235 is successful, means that the server is alive. In real life, normally we actually do a wide range of IP scanning to scan what are the IP address, okay, that are alive before we actually do an mnet. you can see that okay, there is really a VSFTP service daemon that is running on the server with port 21 that is open. Okay, and the version of the VSFTP that is running is version 2.3.4. Okay, which is a version that is vulnerable to a backdoor attack. You can see that there's a lot of other ports and services that is actually open, okay, on the vulnerable server that can be exploited, okay, for the vulnerability. But for today, basically we are concentrating on doing the attack, okay, on VSFTP. In order to launch our attack, okay, we're going to part 3 exploitation. We're going to set up an exploit. So we're going to make use of Metasploit framework. So we're going to go into the console, MSF console. Okay, so you're going to start the framework. Okay, we're going to search, okay, whether is there an exploit called VSFTP for us to perform the attack. So we search for VSFTPD. Okay, and there's really an exploit, okay, that we can do for version 2.3.4, which is the version that we actually found out from the Nmap scanning. Okay, so in order to use the exploit, we need to tell MSF console that okay, we're going to use the exploit by telling okay, MS console that I'm going to use this exploit by doing the use exploit / Unix FTP / VSFTP command. And there are some parameters to actually set. One of them is to set what is the destination address that I'm going to launch attack against. So in this case will be the IP address of the vulnerable server. So I'm going to set our host 209.165.200.235. Okay, let's do a show option to see what other parameters that we can change. Okay, so actually not much parameter. One is the R host and one is the R port. Okay, in this case, VSFTP using port 21, so we can leave it as the default. So type the command exploit to start executing the exploit. You can see that okay, it already start going in. Okay, and the command shell section 1 is being opened. Okay, no doubt you don't see any problem, but you're actually on the vulnerable server. Okay, so let's type a who am I, okay, to see okay what user did you log on as. So you can see that you're actually logging on as a root user. Okay, and let's type a host name to verify okay the devices that we're on. You can see that we are actually on the Meteor server. If we do a IP config, okay, you can see that we are really on the 209.165.200.335. Okay, so for this case, we are going to actually perform attractors like we're going to actually grab okay the password file okay of all the user okay in the system. So we know that in Linux, okay, the password file basically we have two files that contains the password user and password information. One is the PASSWD file and one is the shadow file. So let's take a look at /etc/sha.dow. Okay, you can see a list of all the user and the hash code of all the password that you have. So I'm going to highlight all the info from here. Okay, do a copy. Okay, so I'm going to open a new terminal. I'm going to open a new terminal in Kali so that I can save this file on my desktop. Okay, so I'm going to create a file called shadow text file in my root folder as given in the lab. Okay, 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 and I'm going to basically paste all the information there. okay, and zip, okay, paste the information, okay, correct, and save. Okay, okay. So basically after that, in the same terminal, I'm to do a cat, okay, on the shadow file, okay, dot text, and I'm going to see whether there is a root account given, okay, and you can see that there is, okay, okay. So return to the media spoilable framework terminal on the Kali VM again, which is this, okay. So we are back on the media spoilable, okay, okay. So we're going to do an echo, okay. We're going to insert, okay, okay, a new user called my root, which actually in this case has been inserted previously, okay, okay. So if you just verify the info again, okay, you can see that actually my root has been inserted, okay, on the file already previously, okay. So you can see here basically, okay, okay, basically I'm going to allow my root to log in with available privilege, okay. We will need to add my root user with the same user ID, user group, okay, user description, user home directory as the root to the past PSSWD file, okay. So let's take a look at the PSSWD file, okay. So you can see that the my root, okay, user have exactly the same rights as the root user, okay. So basically if the my root user are not there, basically you can just perform, okay, the echo my root, okay, sentence, and basically paste forward it or pipe it into your /etc password file, okay. So once you're done with this, okay, basically you have actually added a new user my root, which is a user that you have created, okay, to actually, okay, access the vulnerable server as and when you require. So we're going to exit, okay, from the session back to the MSF framework. So let's go back to our Kali Linux again. So now we have, okay, so now we have our shadow file will contain a hashing, okay, of the password. Now it's infiltration. We're going to actually crack the password, okay, in the shadow file using John the Ripper, okay. So basically, okay, I'm going to use John /row to scan through the shadow file and see what password it managed to find. And you can see that it actually know that, okay, there's an user analyst with a cyberops password, okay, my root there is no password, and analyst there is a cyberops, okay, password again, okay, okay. So basically, okay, basically you can actually access the major spoiler via SSH using the login name and list. As you can see that you even have the cyberops password that is being given, okay, which you can use for infiltration, okay. So okay, let's on the Kali Linux now. Let's do a SSH using the analyst username, okay. Okay, the password is cyberops as given. So you can see that you can actually successfully log in. So you can see that, okay, by doing, okay, by using the vulnerability of VSFTP, okay, and using MS console, we actually grab hold of the shadow file, and by making use of a simple program such as John, we are able to crack the password, okay, and the user to be used, okay, in our infiltration phase, okay, which you can see that now we have successfully infiltrated the vulnerable server using an authentic user that is have been created, okay, on the vulnerable server. Okay, so the next use step basically asks you to look at the different files, content, interfaces, IP address, okay, and also look at the routing tables of the vulnerable server. Okay, so let's look at the vulnerable server. Okay, so you can see that when we do an IP route, we can see that the default gateway of the vulnerable server is 209.165.200. Basically, you can see that the gateway is 209.165.200.224, which if you flow up to the diagram that you're having, okay, this will be what you're having. So you can see here the vulnerable server is having an address of 209.165.200.235, and Ethernet 1 interface is having an address of 201.165.200.226, which is actually the default gateway that the DMZ is connected to the security onion. Okay, so we're now at this step here now. Okay, the default gateway which we found out after we access the vulnerable server. Okay, so in the same window, we are going to try to access the default gateway. Okay, say yes. So it can take a few moments to connect as mentioned in the lab. So the password is CyberOps again. Okay, so you can see that you are actually not from your Kali Linux. You have actually logged on to the vulnerable server, and from the vulnerable server you actually pivot to the router. Okay, in this case it's a security onion which is acting as a default gateway for a vulnerable server. Okay, so from the vulnerable server from the router we're going to check what are the different network that is for us to do our attack by doing a ping sweep. Okay, so in order to save time, we're not going to ping any kind of address. We know that there is a subnet that belongs to 192.168.0. So we're going to make use of this script to actually do the attack. Okay, for bracket I is equals to 1, going to use a for loop. I is smaller than 15. I is plus or equals to 1. Okay, to ping 192.168.0 dot $i colon and done. Okay, so this will be a command using a for loop to do a ping sweep from dot 192.168.0.1 to 15. Okay, so you can see that doing a ping sweep now. Okay, there's a reply from 0.1. Okay, so you need to press Ctrl C to go on to different IP. So dot 2 don't have, dot 3 don't have, dot 4 don't have, dot 5 don't have, dot 6 don't have, dot 7 dot 8 .9, .10, .11. I got reply from .11, .12 no, 13, 14, last but not least. Okay, so you can see that by doing a pim sweep, the threat actor from the router server, which is part of the network, the threat actor actually knows that there is a host that is having an IP address of 192.168.0.11. So now I'm going to try to attempt to do a secure shell to the host at 192.168.0.11. Yes, and the password is SUBOPS. Because definitely if there's a user analyst with this password on the system, normally it will be the same user with password to access all the system within the organization. So you can see that basically you have now access to the SUBOPS workstation through a series of access sessions. Kali VM, security onion, SUBOPS VM. So you are basically not infiltrating the system directly from Kali, but through a series of pivoting, which will hide your path, of the threat actors. So I'm going to go to the lab support file and do a ls, and actually there's a confidential file. So basically, this is basically this step is trying to exfiltrate a confidential file. Basically, instead of grabbing the file directly, which may be detected by system, I'm going to encrypt the file, so that it's not easily detectable that I'm actually grabbing official file or confidential text file, from the system itself. So I'm going to do a FTP to the router server from here. Username is analyst, CyberOps. So now I'm actually logged in. So I'm going to put the confidential file. To the router server, which is still part of the network. Part of the network. So you can see. So I'm going to click now. From the FTP session. So the next step, I'm going to go back to my security onion. From which you can see from here, and I'm going to zip out the file. So you can see that I'm zipping up my confidential text file with a confidential zip. So that no one will actually knows that I'm actually sending out the confidential text file. Let's key in CyberOps as the password. So basically my zip file now will contain my confidential text file. So I'm going to remove the confidential text file. Basically the threat actors have actually done a copy of the confidential text file, and it actually removed the file to cause damages to the organization by later on ransoming the company that if they want back the file, please pay a certain amount of money so that I can give you a password to unzip the file. Because I actually zip the confidential text file with a password. So from Kali Linux, again from the prompt of Kali Linux. So now I'm going back to the Kali Linux prompt. And I'm going to actually copy the file from FTP on the vulnerable server back to the Kali Linux. okay, so that I have a copy of it. Okay, so basically I'm going to make use of SCP ANALYST analyst, okay, at 209.165.200.235. So SCP basically is a SSH, okay, file transfer slash home slash ANA ST analyst slash confidential dot text file. Okay, then we'll copy to the default directory. Okay, yes. Okay, this will take a few moments. Okay, so after that, basically what are you supposed to do? Basically now, from the Kali Linux, I'm going to actually go to the vulnerable server to remove the file that I've actually extracted from the vulnerable server. So I'm going to do a zip, I'm going to do a SSH YST at 209.165.200.235. Yes. So you can see that I didn't grab the file directly from the CyberOps workstation. I copied the file onto the vulnerable server, and from the vulnerable server, I actually grabbed the file onto my Kali Linux, which is acting as a tractors. So after grabbing it, I actually remove the file to hide my path. So no more. So basically we have actually done a successful attack by making use of the vulnerability of the vulnerable server, VSFTP daemon version 2.3.4 using MSF console, and from there I found out there's a user that is called analyst with a password cyberops by cracking the password that is found in the shadow file, and from there I basically use the vulnerable server to pivot to the router which is connected to within the organization to find a host that I can actually extract some information from it, which I actually encrypt the information before removing the actual file, so that I can ransom the company that if they want back the information, they, in order to encrypt the file, they must pay certain amount of money for me before I give them the password. So the next part 5 basically is basically the job of an analysis basically is to basically analyze what have actually happened. So now if you were to go to your security onion, so we're going to start our as you agree, login is analyst, cyber ops, select all sensor and start. So you can see that there is a lot of traffic that's been generated. Make sure you take note of the date, and you can see that especially for this portion, you can see that it's FTP vector exploit using port 21. From the source address is 201.17, which is actually the IP address of the Kali Linux, and 209.165.255, which is the vulnerable server IP address. So as the alert analysis, you will actually get to actually see what kind of malicious traffic that is going through the network through your IDS or IPS. And in this case, the 5 tuple basically means that you need to take note of where the attack is coming from in terms of the source IP address, then the source port number, and where the attack is targeting in terms of the destination IP addresses and the destination port number, and what kind of exploit they are doing. The number of attack you can see here is there's a counter of 2. So in the lab, basically it asks you to look up for an attack called GPL attack response, which is part of the attack that basically make use of the root account. So let's look for one, which is this internet 1/1 GPL attack response return 0. GPL attack. You can see from here. If you cannot see the sensor, just move the resize the column. So basically it's mentioned that you need to look at this. Right click on the counter, you should be able to see the correlated event. And you can see there are basically 2 traffic that correspond to the VSFTP attack. So you can see here correlated. So I can actually look at what really happened during the attack by looking at the transcript. So clicking on the alert ID, I'm going to click on the transcript and wait a while. And as I mentioned, if you set the memory to be 4 gig, you may not be able to see the transcript. So you can see this is the actual flow of and even the command that has been executed from the source to the destination. You can exactly see what are the command that the threat actor actually perform on the system, and what are the information that it actually try to extract from the system itself. So from here you can even pivot to a Wireshark in order to get more detailed information of what happening. So let's go back here. Pivot to Wireshark. So you can see this is a Wireshark. And it tells you select the alert that provide you a transcript from set 3. So basically the display 3 views of a packet. So to view all packet example in a TCP conversation, right click on any packet and follow TCP string. Do that. Follow TCP string. So you can see from Wireshark you can also see the exact information that you can see in the transcript that the SUV is providing. So these are additional confirmation that what you can see. So next we can actually make use of ELSA which is another platform to pivot to the broke platform to look at all the log. So you can see that as an analyst you must be making use of different dashboard to look at all the different information together: source address, destination address, source port number, destination port number, and the type of traffic in order to determine the type of attack that is being performed on the system by the threat actor. So some more thing that you may want to actually so as a threat actor you must be able to know how to escalate the attack to other parties, tier 2 or tier 3 user in the SOC, or even categorize it depending on the type of attack that you see, so that the necessary co-worker that you have in SOC will be able to actually look at the attack and avoid the attack if they actually detect the attack. And basically this is what you need to do and understand for this lab.